This is my morning routine. I get up at the same time every single day. I do not hit the snooze button.
What time?
No matter what. It's like literally like, to me, like the thought of doing that is like, I don't know, like maybe lighting my testicles on fire.
Welcome to the HighKey. Luke, put your fucking headphones on. Holy shit, we're fucking starting. Welcome to the HighKey Go podcast. I'm your host, I'm Jordan Lintz. And I am Luke Lintz. Who we got on the Today Show, Luke? Today on the show is Chris Cavallini. Chris! This guy is a new client of HighKey Agency and HighKey CLOUT. This guy is literally huge on Instagram and huge in real life. This guy's actually massive. I swear he's over 200 pounds. This guy's the most shredded dude I've ever seen. Chris came all the way from the bottom to now owning a multi-million dollar company known as Nutrition Solutions. This is a meal prep company for high-level sports players and athletes. It's pretty amazing. We'll get all we'll get all of it into it during this podcast. So guys, without further ado, let's introduce Chris Cavallini. Woo!
HighKey CLOUT podcast.
It's all about the cloud.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming on our show. We're gonna run through this. This will be a good time.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
Luke can get it going with the questions here. Yeah, for sure. So Chris, how'd you get started with your business? I know that you're the owner of Nutrition Solutions. Kind of go into depth about like what it is and then how you got started.
Yeah, so Nutrition Solutions, we're a lifestyle transformation meal preparation company. We're a national company. We basically prepare meals for people that are looking just to live a healthier lifestyle, whether trying to lose weight, build muscle, or just, again, like be healthy. We basically take the, the decision-making process and do all the heavy lifting for them for the nutritional component, which is obviously super important as it relates to fitness and something a lot of people are struggling with, especially in the States where where a company is based off of. 3/4 of the population in this country are categorized as either overweight or obese. And as a result of, those factors, for the first time in the history of our species, the average human's life expectancy is actually going down. So it's one of those things where this is a real problem. People, I think, are just, in their minds too busy and just a little all over the place. Everybody's got so much to do. So dedicating the time to prepare meals is a challenge that something I realized years ago and decided to basically start up the company out of pure necessity. I started it because it was something that I needed for myself, and I wanted to have an outlet to be able to eat healthy consistently, as well as some of my friends. There was, like 8 or 9 of us at the time that I was basically providing meals for. That was about in 2011. It was a completely different dynamic then. There was never any vision for the company to become what it is today. It was just something that, I was passionate about, in the sense that it was something that I wanted to incorporate into my own game. And then it was just basically from there, things just continued to evolve and took off. And, we're doing pretty good right now.
Awesome. Where did the majority of your sales come from? Like location?
Yeah, Facebook ads, Instagram does amazing things for us.
Nice.
We do the customer experience. That's part of our mission statement and part of our culture. So we do get a lot of referrals. We obviously also use some influencers, but we only use influencers that actually utilize our product and actually believe in what it is we do.
That makes total sense. Yeah, we believe in the same thing with our earbuds. Like, we really only want to get behind influencers that are wearing the earbuds every single day. And just like using your product every single day makes sense.
Yeah, people can see through people see through that shit.
Yeah.
So easily. Yeah.
You see somebody who's smiling with a product in their hand. It is so obvious. Like, at least it's obvious to me, and I feel it's probably obvious to you guys as well. People, I think there's a lot of changes that are coming here as it relates to influencer marketing. And I think a lot of businesses, a lot of people are starting to realize that a lot of influencers don't actually carry a lot of influence.
Yeah, they don't
Big-
carry that clout.
Big time. Big
Well,
time.
and it's because if it's people pick up on that vibe.
Yeah,
like,
totally. If you're not authentic, yeah.
converting is because people just don't feel like they actually believe in the shit. Like passion is what sells. If somebody's passionate, fired up about something, I mean, that shit is contagious. You feel it. Doesn't matter if it's online. You feel it, and that authenticity resonates and will compel people to purchase. I mean, and a lot of these influencers, unfortunately, they don't give a fuck what they're promoting. They're just giving a fuck about what they're being paid to promote it, which is just so ass backwards because not only are they
That's
just
so true.
abusing the position that they're in. I mean, you're an influencer, especially in the fitness industry, man. Like that just carries a huge responsibility. You're putting yourself out there, acting as if your intention is to help people selflessly. You want to help people get better, improve their health, improve their body, improve their confidence, and all that. And you're pushing subpar product that you don't actually believe in, that you don't actually use. It's bullshit, man.
Big
That
time.
is bullshit.
Yeah, and to make sales, you have to inflict some kind of emotion on your potential customer, some sort of emotion. And the stronger emotion that you inflict is like, the better the sale.
Yeah, Chris, have you ever had someone hate on you and then turn around and become a customer?
Man, some of our best customers are.
It's so closely related.
It's so close. It's like
Yeah.
such a flip of a switch. Like,
Yeah, that was early on, that was something that I learned is that your most pissed off customers are actually like just huge opportunities to basically convert into loyal, lifelong advocates. So there's been more times than I can even count that has happened. And now anytime, just it's deep within our culture now. Our team understands that if we have a customer that is not satisfied for any reason or pissed off, even if it's something that like technically like they're not correct about, like if there's just a misunderstanding with something that they were sent and didn't read or just overlooked or misread, we always take responsibility. We take the time to educate and just take the time to let people know we care. I mean, this is a sensitive thing as far as what we're selling here. We're not necessarily selling healthy meals. We're selling the tools and the resources and the support essentially for people to basically change their life and to improve their health and to get better. A lot of people have historically struggled to stay consistent, making changes, and they come into it with kind of a guard put up, and they're just almost looking for a reason to have it not work. And I'm aware of that. I'm aware that some of these people have just painful associations in the past. They've tried it, it didn't work out, they got frustrated and all that.
Yeah, it takes effort to take care of yourself, and like those are the people that just haven't put in the work yet, like in the kitchen, and in the gym.
Yeah, and that's also beyond just selling and providing the meals. We portion them appropriately. Our menu changes every week, so it's always like new shit. Like
what if they want more? Like it's just scalable to whatever your macros or whatever.
Yeah, there's different programs for people who have different goals, but one of the things that makes us unique and the thing that I'm probably most proud about is the support that our team offers and gives our customers during this process. We've found that the accountability aspect is massive, and we have dual certified NASM weight loss specialists and fitness and nutrition specialists on staff. They're available like as a resource to educate, to support, and just to at times just like light a fire under people's asses to help keep them on track. And that accountability aspect we found has been just extraordinarily helpful as it relates to just keeping people on the path.
Nice.
For sure, man. Yeah.
That's similar stuff to like Stefan when he's like coaching. He says he just like lights a fire under them, like kind of just gets on them. You know Stefan Arnio, hey Chris? Like you were on his podcast, right? Yeah. I believed I booked that, right? Yeah, I booked you on his podcast. Yeah. That's right.
He's the one who linked me up with you guys.
Yeah.
He linked me up with him, and then
and then we bounced
just
back.
a whole bunch of linking up.
Yeah. It's all
awesome.
all about the networking. All right, tell us your likes and dislikes about social media in general, and then we could get specifically about the platforms. Even TikTok we can talk about too.
Yeah. Well, you guys will probably do most of the talking on that one.
TikTok? On TikTok?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get up to speed on that. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
Likes and dislikes of social media right now for you, what you're experiencing with your business.
Yeah. So, man, it's like, so for me, there's nothing I can say that I dislike because I'm not tuning into the things that I dislike.
Right.
I mean,
so you're not consuming. You're not consuming.
No, I'm not consuming things that make me annoyed or aggravate me or any number of things. And it's like, you know, it's just like anything, whether on TV, the radio, like out in different locations where you can hang out at. Like, don't expose yourself to shit that doesn't make you fucking feel good. I mean, it's actually like that simple.
It's basically like utilize the tool correctly. You know, like people are spending their time doing dumb shit that they don't even want to do on their device, and then they're saying it's negative and it's all garbage. Like,
I don't see any of that. I don't see any of that stuff. But you know, I think that the parts that I think I don't like that I'm aware are present. I'm not necessarily exposed to it, but I think that social media, maybe not so much Instagram, but like Facebook, has basically just turned into like just a big conglomerate of just complaining and like arguing and like posting either political shit or videos of cruelty to animals. These fucking morons are thinking, this is the sad part, the people that are posting that shit online are thinking they're actually like helping. Like, oh, I'm raising awareness. It's such an idiotic lack of responsibility. It's like, no, actually what you're doing is you're contaminating the news feeds with more poison and negativity. Everybody that comes across that, at that point, their day is now going to be less fucking good because of your attempts to raise
They're just
awareness.
Contributing to the complaining nature that is like negativity. Yeah, totally.
And it's probably how they live their life. To me, when I see that, that's typically an indication of how they live their life. They post something online hoping that just some social media knight in shining armor is going to come across it and then gallop in on his white stallion to wherever the shit's going on and just rectify it. And they probably take that same approach with problems that they have in their life. They do not accept responsibility over the problem, and they blame it on this external thing, variable, the economy, the president, like, you know, the fact they weren't hugged enough as a kid, whatever. And it's like, dude, nobody is coming to fucking save you. Like,
that's just
it's like the same. It's like the same thing as going on like protesting marches. Like, I was about to say the same thing. I hate like certain protesting is just so dumb. It's
like
completely useless.
Waste of energy.
Waste of time. It does nothing to actually solve the problem or whatever problem you actually have at hand. Yeah.
And that's just it. If you're gonna do something, make sure like there's a result. If you're doing something and there are no results to show for it in any avenue of life, you got to look at what you're doing and adjust the game plan and like just do something different to try as you're able to obtain a result. As far as other things I don't like about social media, I guess I don't really like, I think, you know, we've talked about this, Luke, before, but I don't like some of these, you know, some of the shit on there with some of these kids that are presenting themselves to be, you know, these like
the fake
millionaires flying on jets and all this
super fake
fucking fake motherfuckers that like people and I don't
I actually want to know who they are though. That's the thing, because like people say that, but then I end up getting to know some of these guys and they are actually doing it. Like they are actually doing it. And then I think it's the credit repair guys. I think it's those credit repair guys. I think those guys are just living on this credit arbitrage and they're going to fall under when the market crashes.
Yeah,
there's so many of them.
Definitely a lot more than that. I'm certainly not gonna like, you know,
blast anyone. Yeah, of course.
But they're there, and it's not. I guess the thing is, it's not that they're like, you know, complete fucking bums, like living on their mom's couch or anything like that.
They're still renting the vehicles.
But they certainly aren't who they present themselves or portray. It's like, look, here's the thing. It's straight up. If you're in like your early, I know you guys are young or whatever, but if you're in your early 20s, like, dude, it is impossible for you to actually fucking think that you have the ability to coach other people on how to live their best fucking life.
That's it. That's just ridiculous. Yeah.
You don't know what your best life is. Like whatever you think is good right now, in a few years, you're going to look back on it like, dude, that was miserable. I think about the first version of our company's product. I mean, shit, I think about our company's product a year ago and I'm looking like that. Like it's embarrassing. I'm literally looking at things that I once thought to be appropriate, things that I found
like acceptable. It just
shows like, when you evolve and like, you know, you're on the path of personal development, like your standards evolve, and what, you know, you once thought was good, you soon look back on and you're like, dude, that's a fucking joke, because we can always get better. And, you know, these people are glorifying the fact that like, it's not hard. It's like, you just do these easy things. And dude, it is not that. It is like, you know, I don't know what your predominant demographic is. I'm sure it's like young people like yourself who are out there hustling, trying to get it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it is a fucking long ass journey. It is hard as fuck. There's going to be problems out the ass, no matter how good you are, and the chances are you're probably not that fucking good. That's another thing we need to all be aware of. It's like, we're not as good as we think we are. You know, like, you're gonna have problems, and like, what you need to understand is problems are normal. Problems are normal. Problems are part of the process. It is your attitude and perspective towards those problems that ultimately determine where you go. Do you look at it as, you know, like, oh, my team didn't do this and that and all these this bullshit, or do you accept responsibility, look at the problem for what it is, which is an opportunity, and learn from it?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Yeah,
Literally couldn't agree more.
That was really well said.
Yeah.
But as far as what I like about social, you know, I like the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are putting out good information for free, and
that's sick. That's really fucking dope. Like, like the internet will put universities out of business. So like, that's pretty
YouTube
cool.
in itself, like the amount of quality long form content.
There's so much quality. There's so much quality shit to learn on the internet. Like, it's insane.
So I mean, YouTube is just like, I mean, the thing is though, that's not what when you know, if we were to walk up to 10 people in the street and just ask them, hey, so what are your thoughts on YouTube? Nobody would say that shit. Like, people have to have an awareness of what is there and not just go on little funny bullshit entertaining videos that kind of take the place of Netflix. Like, I got my personal development journey started on YouTube. In 2011, I started my personal development journey by watching every minute of content that Tony Robbins had up there. At that time in 2011, it wasn't that long. But a lot has changed. Podcasts, audiobook game, things are just different now. And, you know, YouTube is just a tremendous platform that literally anybody can go on and dedicate time and energy, done shit that they can learn and incorporate in their life and evolve and get better. And it's honestly as simple as that. But you've got to do it consistently, and you actually have to like be aware and like, you know, understand that these things are out there, but they're not coming to you, man. You got to go fucking get it.
Totally. Yeah, it's all about like knowing like what you're good at and like where your place is,
being
to make content around yourself.
Being self-aware.
Yeah, you got to be self-aware as fuck to be able to do good on these platforms, for sure.
Yeah. It's what Chris said. You're not as good as you think. I like that. I like that. That's some real shit. That's some real shit. And social media makes it hard. Myself of that every day. Social media makes it hard for that, because you're seeing so much fake shit, and it makes you turn your self-perception.
I want it overnight.
Yeah,
I want it overnight.
I want it overnight.
It creates that energy.
I'm as good as him. I'm as good as him. I can do that. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also even the people who aren't faking it, like, you know, when people are looking from the outside and they see these people who have these lives that, you know, they themselves want and aspire to create, it's like it's pretty irresponsible to be comparing your day one to someone's like year 10, 15, 20. It's just idiotic. But unfortunately, that's what people do. And that's why I try to use my stories. I'm trying to be very active on my stories because anybody can post pictures that to paint a narrative that people's minds have to basically put together. And, you know, it's normally a favorable story that makes them look like a, you know, like a god, as it were. But I like to use my stories to show like the real shit, the hours, the grind, just all the different stuff that goes into just to building. And I think more people need to just be aware of that and realize that social media is not a good barometer as far as like how you should be evaluating your self-worth and credibility based off what other people are doing. It's like, go out every fucking day, do your best, and constantly look for ways to improve. That's how you feel good about yourself. Okay.
Yeah, it
is. The way you feel like shit about yourself is by going on social media and comparing your real life to people's fake lives and thinking
and
that,
then doing
there's a
nothing,
connection.
and then doing nothing about your life.
Except feeling like, exactly. It's idiotic.
It's like a vicious cycle.
Chris, one thing that I wanted to ask with business is with Jordan and me over the past, I'd say 2 years, we've really noticed a massive snowball effect with our companies in terms of all of the work that we've done since the beginning of starting up with our e-commerce company, HighKey Technology Inc., and with the wireless earbuds, and how it's just snowballed with like connections or skill sets in certain areas. What I was wondering from you is if there was a point in time that you remember that snowball effect kicking into place, where that snowball just like started going down the mountain.
Always increasing, but then it just got to a point of like really like
hyper growth.
Yeah, I would say that happened for us in 2016. That was a breakout year. 2015 was the worst year in my life. I narrowly escaped going to prison for, the offer they gave me was 24 months. I didn't take the deal. I went in for sentencing, which means I could have got 4 to 5 times that.
Wow.
But after that, my entire perspective on just everything changed, and I started to really just do things differently. I could talk about that part, about what I did differently. That would take, hours, but I just started to operate from a new higher level mindset and perspective. And once I started to do that, things started to really, kind of break out. I mean, I had I've always like been pretty well connected, even, throughout my 20s when I was a drug dealer and didn't have connected nonetheless. And I realized that, relationships and just like doing right by others, providing value, just being just someone who selflessly contributes to like the community or supports other businesses, supports, your friends, supports people who realistically can't even like do anything for you. It's a winning strategy. It's fail safe, and 1,000% of the time it comes back full circle. It might not necessarily come back from, the individual or entity that you're supporting, paying it forward, making donations to, whatever, but the universe doesn't forget, and it has a funny way of always coming around when you least expect.
So basically just so basically just giving as much value as possible.
Honestly, I know that's like the generic thing to say, but it's like, you gotta like be a good human being, like be a good human being and figure out like what falls underneath that, and then just do that shit. And a lot of times, like for me, when I started my business, none of it was natural or organic for me. Like I had to work at these things. I had to work at, going out and just being that guy and developing offensively, looking for opportunity. It was something I had to like consistently, I had to write it down. I had to like, and then it just became part of who I am. And that's just, it's like with anything, when you're trying to make changes in your life, like, to this point in your life, you've done things the way you've done them. Okay. And like when you try to do something new and try to have that be a permanent thing that you now want to have become part of you, it takes repetition. But after a period of time being consistent, it ultimately just becomes part of who you are to the core. And that's when shit really starts to happen.
So Chris, where would you, like a lot of these people who are listening to this podcast right now are younger. They're definitely a younger demographic. It's probably some of them are, millennials. They're probably trying to get into business in some sort. They're probably trying to get their skill set. Like everybody has a skill set. Everybody has something that they probably want to do. How would you say that they put that out there and possibly try and make money out of it? What we say is we say for people who are trying to get started that you should just give your skill set and give your services away for free and find the person who's your target audience.
Yeah, you got to say you're worth
free.
nothing. You got to say you're worth nothing at the beginning, and because if you don't, you're going to expect a return, and you can't expect a return when you're building your passion.
Nothing. Yeah. They're worth nothing at the start.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you're at the beginning, something you're not willing to admit, unfortunately. Yeah, I think that's great advice. I think if you are good at something, they say, don't do it for free. I completely disagree with that. I think if you're good at something, you should be willing to give it away for free one time. If you're actually good, right? Because if you're good, then you've now proven and validated. That's how you guys landed me, by the way, is you guys made some video content.
Oh yeah, that is. That's exactly. Yeah, that was exactly what we did.
We gave some
I saw that and I was like, we're gonna do some business together. So it works. It's effective. I mean, you've literally. I mean, this wasn't planned, by the way. Like this part of the talk, but it not only does it also gives you the opportunity to see where you're at. Because, like I said, a lot of people think they're better than they actually are. And if there's just not the demand there, like you might have to look at like, okay, is this something that's actually people have a need for, or is this something that people are actually going to pay me for at the level that I'm at, or do I need to get a little better? That's for people who do have a skill and a trade and all that. Like I didn't have any of that when I was a drug dealer for a lot of years. I mean, I didn't mention this earlier, but I mean, I was arrested 17 times before my 18th birthday. Another half a dozen. 17
times before your 18th birthday?
17 times.
No record? No record?
Because another half a dozen times. No, I have records.
Oh shit! I thought because you're before 18, no record.
Well, no. Well, actually, that's actually a lot of the juvenile things aren't on there. But you know, I was also arrested several times after that. I mean, I have multiple felonies on my record. I was a drug dealer for a lot of years. So, when I was trying to figure out a way to escape and turn my life around, I honestly knew that. Like I wouldn't be able to get a real job because of my record. I didn't really want a real job because I hadn't for like years. I didn't have a normal job as a drug dealer. So like I knew that.
Wait, when you say drug dealer, what kind of drugs are we talking here?
Yeah, I sold steroids for a lot of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like anabolic steroids, like.
Yeah. And
okay.
Then just so nobody thinks I'm bullshitting here. Like if you were to pull up that arrest which happened in 2015, which was actually for crimes that were committed in 2012.
Wow.
During that deal, I was set up by a friend of mine at the time. I also had a few pills of ecstasy that I was giving him to what I thought to go like party that weekend. And then, so that was part of the thing as well. I never sold ecstasy at this point. That
was just your buddy.
Well, I mean, clearly he wasn't really my buddy, right?
Clearly not really. Yeah, clearly not a buddy.
What defines a friend?
Yeah, clearly not a buddy.
I knew that like I needed to do something and I wanted to do something. I literally had no fucking clue what that was. It was through my personal development journey. I mean, I've read over 1,000 books, guys, and that might seem like impressive. But when you don't have a normal job and like you don't do nothing all day, you get a lot of free time on your hands. So like I was like reading everything and anything I could to like help me become a better human being. And you know, through my personal development journey, which took me, you know, years to get started with my business once I, you know, kind of got that going. But the other piece of good advice, I think, for people who just, you know, like look up to guys like you and like, fuck, I want to be like that, but they don't have a current like skill set or like the entrepreneur mindset, is to go work for a company that you know is run by like a winner who has the right mindset, that you can kind of go in there and just begin to understand the framework of business. A lot of people underestimate how difficult and complex business is.
Bro, and that's what's happening here, man. We're hiring like young and hungry people who are just trying to like.
I'm the oldest guy here.
Yeah.
How old are you? 25?
I'm 23.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Luke's the second oldest. No, Bueno's older than you, right?
Yeah, I'm like right there at second oldest. Yeah. Oh gosh, ridiculous.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's great. I mean, but you know, like it's one of those things where like you don't know what you don't know, and being in an established environment with people that you can learn from, being around people who are fucking making shit happen and that are where you want to be, like it's very difficult to do that. Like if you're like a young kid starting out, like a top executive is not going to fucking hang out with you. Let's just be honest here. Like, it's just not something that happens. But if you get in their company, you're now in the environment and everything, you know, a company culture is typically reflective on the mindset of the CEO. So there's a lot of value in that will just help you just evolve, just develop experience, skills, and just the level of maturity that you'll need to actually be in a place to start making decisions to kind of create your own framework.
Man, and like literally, it's such a central point of everything that you talk about. And like I'm trying to really delve into it myself with books that I read, stuff that I learn, is just how powerful the mind is, and how powerful everybody's mind is, and everything that it's capable of, and harnessing it and gain the right mindset. And like I
sounds
always,
like we're talking along the theme of Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I always heard. Yeah, Think and Grow Rich. Oh my God, amazing book, unbelievable. It's literally
that book was hilarious to read. Like I was reading the beginning. Imagine how much money you want. Just imagine it.
Yeah. And the thing is,
I liked it. No, it was good. Like it was good. Man.
The thing is, it sounds ridiculous to the average person because they're not in that mindset.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like people need to understand that. Like, okay, if you're listening to something I'm saying right now, anything that I've said, and you're not like feeling it or like, oh no, that ain't no. Trust me. Like I know better than you. If you're listening to this podcast, you
should be totally vibing with it, or you don't get it.
Yeah.
Right. You've tuned in. I'm not saying me. Like you've tuned in, whether podcast, a video, a book. If someone is putting something out there that is further down the road than you, and your immediate like reaction is like resistance or no, that doesn't apply to me. You have to just check yourself right there and be like, okay, wait a minute. That's my ego. What that is an indication of when people get kind of like resentful or malevolent or just feel like, you know, oh, that's your mind trying to protect your fragile self.
Insecure. Yeah.
The truth is that that's probably something that you honestly need to improve on. And our mind will believe anything we tell it. So if we try to block these things out, it's like, oh, that doesn't, oh, okay. And then you go on doing things the way you're doing them and you get the same results that you got. But you just have to entertain the possibility. And again, just talk about what I said earlier about the fact that you're not as good as you think you are. So that's something I literally remind myself of often. And also like the way you've done things to this point of your life, perhaps is not the best way. And with that said, where can we make improvements? And that's what it's about. It's about living your best life by doing your best and recognizing that part of doing your best is looking for opportunities to get better. And there will always be opportunities to get better, and not look at it as a bad thing. I think people look at, I know people look at change as just a horrible, terrible, like apocalyptic type thing, but it is not. Change is what is needed for growth. Change is what keeps us alive and inspired and moving forward to like the next target goal, and, you know, allows us to evolve into something more.
Yeah, totally. Like what got us here won't get us to that next level.
Yeah. It's like what gets you to 0 to 1 million won't get you from 1 million to 3 million. What gets you from 1 million to 3 million won't get you to 10 million.
Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just scratch your little
But the mind, man, yeah, to your point, like people have to just be aware that like whatever you currently think is capable for yourself and of your life, whatever you think consciously or subconsciously, that was actually put there and manipulated by your environment growing up, your parents, the demographic that you were exposed to, you know, as a young person, the people that you hang around with right now, the place you work, the information you consume, the people you follow on social media. So when we're aware of the fact that how we feel is basically, or how we feel and how we think is basically a result of external environments and external factors, we then can kind of go on the offense to ensure that we're setting our environment and basically the information that comes into our space, into our mind, optimizing that for like the best possible outcome for us as individuals.
Yeah. What was said? You're the average of the 5 closest people around you.
Yeah.
That's super important. I think that's super, super important. Like people have too many fucking friends. Like people have too many. You don't have that many friends, okay? You don't have 30 friends. You know, it's bullshit.
when I was 23, dude, I like, that was the whole thing. Like, I guess maybe the way I validated myself was by, because I had a ton of fucking friends.
Okay, yeah. But you didn't, right? Like when you look back, it's like, yeah.
Exactly. And the people that I did, they weren't serving. They weren't like when we talk about friends now, what you know I mean and what I know I mean when I say that. No, they were not that. They were people that I knew that when
they're homies. They're fucking homies.
Yeah. Drunk with and do drugs in the bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Like that's not, that's not.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're young. It's hard when you're young because, when we were in elementary school, like it's basically instilled in us to be friends with everybody in the
friends
class.
With everybody. Yeah.
So it's like it's put there very, very, very early on, and people just have to be aware that it ain't fucking elementary school anymore.
Yeah, jeez.
Chris, do you have any routines and rituals that you do? Like, let's say meditation. Do you repeat affirmations? Anything like that?
Yeah, I do. I do a little bit of both those things, but I would say my most structured routine that I follow is my morning routine. I get up at the same time every single day. I do not hit the snooze button.
What time?
No matter what. It's like literally like, to me, like the thought of doing that is like, I don't know, like maybe lighting my testicles on fire. It's just, I've conditioned myself to.
That's good. It's bad. It's bad.
It's important because it's a commitment that you've made with yourself. You
light my testicles.
Yeah, like you set your life for a reason. Like you have to honor the commitments you make with yourself. Say you're going to do something, you have to do it. Unfortunately, people lie to themselves all day, every fucking day, and they wonder why they don't have confidence. They wonder why they don't have that self-belief. They wonder why they feel like shit about themselves more often than not. So like these little small things that people think don't matter, they matter very much. But my alarm goes off at 4:50. I get up. I immediately default to gratitude. Like as soon as like the alarm gets up, I shut off. I'm like, Alexa, shut the alarm off. And then I just immediately start forcefully thinking about things that I have to be grateful for. It's not like an organic thing. I have to force myself to do it because just like everybody else, when I wake up in the morning, I mean, I don't like wake up like ready to fucking, like just go kick the world's ass. Like you're tired, like you got to adjust and start thinking.
You got to gradually get up there.
Unless like I'm looking forward to something specifically at work, Like, yeah.
2% of the time, right?
Yeah. I get what you're saying for sure.
I'll make my bed perfectly, go brush my teeth. And when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm thinking about my outcomes for the day. I'm thinking about a couple of things I have to do that I'm thinking about not only what I have to do, I'm thinking about why I have to do it. That way it kind of reinforces like that enthusiasm to actually not only get it done, but get it done well. And then I go get a workout in. The workout first thing in the morning is imperative. My day is different if I don't work out. I don't feel, and it's not even physically, although there's physical benefits. It's like
you don't like evening workouts at all?
I love evening workouts. I love workouts, period.
Same. Okay. Yeah.
The thing is, guys, like this is a huge one. Like, and a lot of people that hear me give this advice, they're like, oh, I work out in the evening, I'm good. And even if they're in great shape, it's like, I'm not talking about doing it for the physical. I'm talking about getting like exercising first thing in the morning. It activates a lot of shit in your brain that you now will carry with you throughout the day, that you can attack the day at that higher level of mental awareness, focus, mental acuity. It's just fucking different. Like I'm visibly and just like I feel so much better when I do a hard workout in the morning. And it's the whole day is different. It's impossible to have a tough workout in the morning, like where you push yourself and then have a shitty day. I literally believe that it's impossible if you do it right. When I'm doing my cardio, I'll listen to some personal development. So I'm like optimizing my time and just being most efficient, training the body, training the mind. And then I'll go back to my place before I head out for work after I change, or if I'm working from the house that day. I don't always come to the office. If I have to really buckle down and focus, I'm not going to come to our company headquarters. A lot of shit going on, and I'm writing down my targets for the day. I write down 3 to 5 things. 3 if they're like bigger things, 5 if they're like smaller things. No more than 5, no less than 3 things that I have to do that day. And that's like a blood oath. Like if it's on paper for that day, it gets done, no exceptions. Just like the snooze button thing. That's the agreement that I have to make with myself throughout the day. I sign this agreement. I'm aware that by doing these targets, by accomplishing these tasks, I'll be that much closer to where it is I want to go. And I take that very seriously. And that's mindset has allowed me to just be more productive, efficient, and just basically move forward and not spend all my time doing little bullshit busy work where I feel like I'm so busy all the time, but I have no results to show for it.
Amazing.
That's zero piker mentality, not following through on any of your commitments.
Mm-hmm.
That's good stuff, man.
Thank you.
So how are you leveraging your social media to achieve your goals?
Well, not very well. That's why I hired you guys.
Yes, sir. We'll take the plug.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Honestly, up until 2000, and I would say the beginning of 2019, it was very difficult for me to use social the way that I actually should be to
grow brand. Yeah,
I did my best, and my best is better than most. But I'm still aware of the fact that, like, when you don't have the mental bandwidth and energy to create content because your business is, sucking the life out of you, you get all these other things going.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, social will always come second to, my team, my company and all that. But obviously you work to a point where you get better systems and people in place and structure and catch a groove to where you now allocate the time. And, I use it a number of ways, and I feel I do a pretty good job of staying very consistent with my story, showing like the behind the scenes shit.
Yeah.
And I put out content just about every day. I'll do a post.
That's good.
And I'm basically, not just showing my abs on there and fucking flexing and whatnot.
Yeah, providing some value, the video content, that's good stuff.
I actually don't I don't actually like posting those type of things.
Which ones? Which one?
Like shirtless shit and all that. And it's like,
but it goes along. It still goes
really,
along with the brand.
It does. But at the same time, I have so much more to offer where most people that look like me just do not. And their pages are just all shirtless and all that. And I wanted to make sure to that when people come to my page, they don't
get the wrong idea. Yeah.
Yeah. That's important to me. I don't want people to think I'm just the typical tatted up fucking meathead that I appear to be.
Yeah, we get it.
I like to hit it across different areas as far as, mindset, just positive perspective, obviously the fitness, and just fucking going hard, man, and just doing the work. Because at the end of the day, all this shit that, all the podcasts, the personal development tools, the seminars, the online courses, the YouTube videos, all of these resources that are out there that people are searching desperately to find the shortcut or the secret, the bottom line in all of them is the exact same. Do the fucking work. I just want to remind people of that. I want to remind people of that because there's no getting around that. Like, that's what it's always going to circle back to. And it's
there's literally no one ever that did anything monumental that didn't do any work. It's not a thing.
It's not possible.
And get the shit kicked out of them. At multiple points during the process. And it's like, that's normal. Embrace that. Stop trying to hide from it. Stop trying to avoid the discomfort. Embrace the discomfort.
Yeah.
Actively seek out discomfort in your life because it'll make those obstacles that life is going to hit you with at some point. It'll make them that much easier to overcome and push through.
Yeah, like Steve Jobs got fucking kicked out of his own company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then came back when they were failing.
Yeah.
To revive it. Like, how insane is that?
Yeah. It's like, I like that, intentionally putting yourself in discomfort. And if you come from a background of like that was unbelievably resilient, that you formed that with you being a drug dealer. We came from a pretty resilient past too in terms of our family. Definitely carved us into who we are now. And I think that's key
let's talk about that. Most people don't, right? I came up my mom had me when she was 16. She was an addict. My dad took off when she was pregnant. So I never.
That's fucking hard. Holy shit.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, I didn't know anything different, but my dad wasn't around. I didn't meet my dad till 2 years ago. Like, never even saw a picture of him. So
2 years ago today?
Yeah. That's a whole other story. Like, my upbringing, I was in and out of foster homes, group homes. I didn't have that like traditional, support. So I kind of grew up, I would call it like untraditional. And because of some of the things that I went through, it kind of, unbeknownst to me at the time, it prepared me for some of the things that I would go through as an entrepreneur. Most people don't have that. Most people either, they have just the normal family dinner at the table, white picket fence, or just more average circumstances. And those are the people that need to be like on the lookout, to be hunting out ways to put themselves voluntarily in uncomfortable situations, whether it's taking a cold shower first thing in the morning, whether it's going to the gym and not doing the first thing that you want to do. Like, what's the thing that you don't want to do, the thing that you hate? Go do that shit. Like, do the things that you don't want to do consistently. And it just builds mental toughness. It builds discipline. And it also, again, like, puts you in a stronger position to take on your entrepreneurship journey, because the shit is hard. Shit pops off all the time, and it never goes away. No matter how good you get, it never goes away. The thing is, you just learn you react to it differently when you finally at some point figure out, provided you don't quit, that it's actually normal, and then you accept it as that.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, I love all that you said, man. That's key for the people listening, man. Just
it is, and it's sad that it's like, look, first of all, let me just go and say, like, when I was 23, like, I was not doing any of the shit that I'm talking about right now. Yeah. Okay, like, I'm 36. I didn't start thinking about turning my life around until I was 27. Like, so all the things that I'm saying, like, it's the shit that I personally did to go from, where I was, which, again, I'm arrested 17 times from my 18th birthday, like, drug dealer in, my 20s, to, where I am now. I'm the CEO of a national company. We have arguably one of the strongest cultures in the entire country. I've personally been, featured in Forbes magazine half a dozen times. I'm doing pretty good. And there's a significant variance between where I was and where I am now. And the way that I was able to bridge that gap was exactly through the things that I'm sharing with the people here. So this is all validated. It's true, tried and tested. I speak on it so passionately because I've lived my life doing all the other shit and got those results, which, it's stressful, it's frustrating, it's depressing, it's disheartening. It makes you question whether you're good enough. And the fact is, like, most people that are listening to this right now have to understand that, like, your current self is not good enough to get where you want to be. So you got to make adjustments. You have to do things differently. You have to build yourself up. You have to get better. And you don't just get better by not doing. Like, you got to do shit. And then on the other end, the payoff is always on the other end of the execution.
Yeah. Wow. Big time.
Yeah, those are great. We're going to take great cut-ups from this.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay, Chris, I actually have a question from one of our videographers and editors. His name's Tristan. And so when he was editing one of your videos, he really took into account the part where you came from the background of being arrested 17 times. And that
17 times before my 18th birthday.
Exactly.
Don't short
don't short the arrest. Don't short the arrest.
Holding with a badge of honor. That's awesome. Wait, how many times was it total?
Probably 25, man. I don't know.
Oh my
really?
God.
Wow. After 18. Oh shit.
Well, when you can't even count the amount of times you've been arrested.
Hey, but the record is just like a degree. It doesn't matter when you run your own company.
Oh, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm sure I could have gotten this last one. Pay the money to get it. I don't give a shit. I wear it as a badge of honor. Not that I'm proud of what I did. I guess for people to know, like, in a short time, what is possible when you just commit to change and just focus on becoming a better person. Yeah. I own it proudly, and I'm happy and grateful for the changes that I've been able to make. And I'm hoping that people see that and are able to draw inspiration from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, man, basically the question was, where you were saying that you came from a town where basically all the police officers knew that you were basically just a degenerate.
Yes.
At the time.
Yep.
What our video editor was wondering is if you've ever gone back there and talked with any of the police officers
and been like, look at me now, or like.
Yes and no. Like, yes and no. When I was in the military, I went back and I was home on leave, and we got into a bar fight. Me and some of my friends got into a bar fight with a bunch of guys from another town, and the cops saw me, came up to me, and basically like, look, like, you're in the military now. Understand you're doing really good things. We're happy you straightened it out. Get the fuck out of here, and don't be in this environment. You have too much to lose right now. So like that actually doesn't really sound like much, but considering like historically the way that they addressed me and treated me, again, this was years ago. This was just a short time after I'd left. But no, I've never went home to do like the victory lap or. But I'll be honest. Like when I was a little younger and a little less mature, I thought about having one of my cars shipped up north, and then driving up and like the Aventador to the police station to walk in and just shake the hands of everybody that was there to thank them, because honestly, had I not I joined the military basically because I was given an ultimatum, either to go to jail or join the military, and obviously I went to the military, and it not the military per se, that was a piece of it, but just getting out of the environment, it literally helped change my life. And some of those guys, I feel at the time I felt like they were like out to get me and all that, but like if it was me and somebody was acting the way that I was acting, I probably wouldn't have done what they did. I probably wouldn't have just took him to jail. I probably just would have beat the shit out of him one time and hope I was the thing about some of the things that I did back then. It's like, it's funny, but it's also like embarrassing. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? Like, and that's basically the situation. Was basically every single time they came and broke up our parties, anytime they saw me after, this one time I had an altercation with an officer, and he's like, all right, he's like, I'm not going to do anything tonight, but every time I see you from this point forward, you're going to jail. And the one thing I will say, he said,
like, just see you?
Yeah. Well, no, because he wouldn't be seeing me unless it was typically a situation I shouldn't probably.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Like, just see you on the street.
You're going to jail, buddy.
Yeah, but basically, I mean, the one thing I will say about that officer is he's a man of his word, because he definitely followed through with that and told all his buddies. And when they would come to our parties, just to break it up, because someone would call, I would literally, in most situations, just be the only one who went to jail. I mean, there'd be 30, 40, 50 people there. But they would grab me. The respect that I showed them and the way that I conducted myself, all my fault. I'm not making any excuses. I was just a shit. I was not a good kid at that point. And me acting out towards them and showing off and talking shit and swearing at them, and when I'm in cuffs, like acting like a thug, like that was just, I guess, a way for me to show off in front of other people, to feel significant, because at the time I wasn't a very happy individual. I was depressed. I had no confidence, and that's what I did, I guess, to feel significant in the moment. And it didn't get me very far.
Man, it's beautiful. Have you ever looked into like going to jail cells and like preaching or like just speaking in front of a bunch of inmates?
Yeah, man, I would love to do something like that. I've never done anything like that, like at an actual jail or prison, but I've spoken in front of groups of like troubled youth, runaways, kids that are in the system and went through the same process that I did. I've done that extensively, and I really enjoy that, because with the kids,
that's pretty good. Yeah,
there's always a shot that you catch them early, that they will be able to turn a corner and maybe start realizing that the life that they have lived up until that point, although they believe that is what it is and that is how it's going to be, there is a chance that you can maybe get them to start thinking and entertain the possibility that there is better out there for them. So I always appreciate and relish any opportunity to speak to the younger ones who were in the same situation or worse, and hope it can make an impact in their life in some way.
Well, that's a huge relating point. You're coming at them with a huge relating point. So yeah, that's definitely very strong right there. Next question here. Future of social media in the next like 5-10 years space. Where do you see it all going?
Man, that's a good question. Guys, honestly, I I've never really even thought about that. I think that I think YouTube is obviously set in the game. I think they'll always be the main, and I think that will continue to evolve.
It's like video Google, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I really have no input on that. Again, I'm not well versed in TikTok yet. I know
TikTok's insane.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know what you guys know to speak passionately on it. I know that you guys are going to help me get that going, and I want to. I was telling Luke. I mean, these last 2 weeks have been absolutely insane for me, more than any other. Probably these weeks here, the weeks in January, without question, are the busiest for my business due to just a lot of people making resolutions. So we got a ton of new customers, spike in business.
Totally.
And then we're doing a transformation challenge that launches tomorrow. I don't know when this will air, but it launches on the 16th, which is a huge deal. It's open to people all over the world. And there's just a lot of fucking shit going on. So I want to free up some bandwidth here soon to where I can fully learn what I need to learn about TikTok so I can be as excited about it as you guys to where I can
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's definitely the thing that caught fire because it started with 12-year-olds, but obviously we're not 12 and we're on it. So there's definitely room to take over a large piece of the pie on social with
I know
TikTok.
it's still early, and that's exciting.
Yep. Still early and definitely going super viral. I'd say TikTok is almost completely taken out the Instagram Explorer. All attention that used to be on Instagram Explorer is now on TikTok.
Yeah, and
we got to update our agreement. I swear, and so funny that you guys brought this up, but I have it in my freaking planner, one of the line items that on the call that we're going to do later, to see what it would take for you guys to handle my TikTok for me, and get that going. So I trust you.
We do that for we do that for several of our clients so far.
Yeah, and
TikTok,
and some of our clients are just moneying it. So
and you could get verified really easily, Chris, since you're verified on Instagram.
Wait.
Yeah. So our one of our clients, Clay and Morris, we got verified 2 weeks ago, and within 2 weeks he's gained over 40,000 followers on TikTok, and he's got two videos over 500,000 views.
Now we don't know if it was directly correlated to the verification, but
Even if you use a little common sense and you think about younger people, if they see somebody, they're
man, it's hilarious. It's pretty important. Do you notice the verification helping you out with DMs and stuff? You rank in the DMs.
It definitely has helped a little bit, and I knew it would. I knew it would, but yeah, for sure, it definitely has helped. And that was
man,
cool step up.
Cool, man. Well, it was great having you on the show. What we're doing now is we're moving to the audio only section.
No, we're not. You didn't get him to define CLOUT yet.
Oh, we're gonna do CLOUT. Okay.
Oh shit, man, this is the most important question of the whole podcast.
HighKey CLOUT podcast.
Yeah, it's the HighKey CLOUT podcast. This is the most important question, Chris, and we're going to ask you to define CLOUT. So CLOUT's actually a very old term. It came around in the early 1900s. Mm-hmm. Wait, are you Googling it right now? Are you on your phone? No, don't Google
you can't Google it. You can't Google it.
You have to define it.
So
have you heard the term CLOUT? I'm going to define it for you after.
I know what it is. I want to do this little reference point.
Yeah.
You can't Google it.
Yeah, you can't Google it.
So I would say CLOUT. If I was using that, I would say your aura, your vibe, the way you project yourself, and how you carry yourself in situations in a positive and positively infectious manner. That would be my Cliff Note paraphrase version of it.
With influence, yeah. So it was essentially carrying the influence.
What's the real definition?
So the definition is influence.
I wouldn't have just read the definition off the thing.
I thought that's what's gonna happen. No. It's influence and power, specifically in business and politics.
Yeah.
Cool. I can't believe it. We looked it up and we're like, holy shit, this term has been around for almost 100 years.
Yeah.
What? It's been around for almost a century.
Thank you for educating me on that. And that it makes your you guys' brand that much cooler. Now actually I get it, and it's awesome. I thought it was cool before, now I think it's awesome. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it got modernized with hip hop pretty hard though.
Yeah, okay.
Like hip hop has really modernized the term clout. It's being used all over in songs, like
for sure.
So it's really come back, I guess.
It's like the two most poppin' terms of the past 3 years: HighKey and CLOUT.
Just threw them together. Yeah, low key and high key. That's how we started the company. We originally were gonna go low key, but couldn't register the business name, so we flipped our logo, went high key.
Just called it HighKey.
Yeah,
It's better.
it's way better. Yeah, it's way better.
It's like why would?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Get it. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on, Chris. And we're going to the audio only version. So stay tuned, guys. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening already. Stay tuned. Audio only version, rapid fire questions. Let's get into it.